There's a specific kind of yellow patch that shows up in almost every yard with a dog, and it's one of the most misdiagnosed problems in home lawn care. Mostly because people treat it like every other bare spot. Rake it out, throw seed down, water it, and watch it die again a few weeks later in the exact same place. The reason it keeps coming back isn't bad luck. It's that most people never actually understand the chemistry causing it, which means they never fix the part that actually matters. Renata described this as one of the most common calls she gets from frustrated dog owners who've already tried reseeding a spot 2 or 3 times, always in the same corner of the yard, always with the same disappointing result. By the time most people reach out for help, they've usually concluded something is fundamentally wrong with either their soil or their grass seed, when the actual issue was sitting in plain sight the entire time. They were treating a symptom that reappears every single time their dog uses that same spot, without ever addressing the actual chemical event causing it. I got the clearest breakdown of this from a veterinary-adjacent turf consultant named Renata Silva, who spent years working with dog boarding and training facilities outside San Antonio, Texas, places where dozens of dogs use the same turf daily, and a lawn care approach that only half works simply isn't good enough. She told me something that reframed how she explains this to every client. People think it's a dead grass problem. It's actually two separate chemistry problems happening in the same square foot at the same time, and you have to treat both. If you haven't run through our general yellow patch diagnostics yet, the flush test for pests, the dull blade check, or the hydrophobic soil test, those cover most other causes of yellow patches. Today's specifically about the one with a very particular signature, a dead or yellow center surrounded by a ring of grass that's noticeably darker and healthier than everything around it. That dark green halo is the giveaway, and once you understand why it forms, the whole picture makes sense. Dog urine is loaded with urea, which is chemically nitrogen, essentially the same active ingredient sold in a bag of lawn fertilizer, just delivered in one small, highly concentrated dose instead of spread evenly across the yard. At the center of the spot, the grass receives a nitrogen load far beyond anything it can process, and it burns. At the outer edge, where that same nitrogen has diffused and diluted through the surrounding soil, it lands at roughly the concentration a normal fertilizer application would provide, and that grass gets genuinely fertilized, growing in darker and thicker than the lawn around it. The ring isn't a coincidence or a separate problem. It's direct physical proof of what happened, and once you can read it, you don't need to guess anymore. There's a second mechanism working alongside the nitrogen overdose, and it's just as damaging. Urine carries dissolved salts, and water in soil always moves from areas of lower salt concentration toward areas of higher concentration, trying to equalize. Dump a concentrated dose of salt into the root zone, and you effectively reverse the normal direction of water flow. Instead of roots pulling water in from the surrounding soil, the soil starts pulling water back out of the roots. The plant dehydrates while sitting in soil that's often still moist, which is the same basic mechanism behind why road salt kills vegetation along a shoulder in winter. So a fresh dog spot is dealing with a nitrogen overdose and a salt-driven dehydration event simultaneously in the same small patch of ground. Understanding both halves of that mechanism matters because they call for genuinely different fixes, and this is where a lot of misinformation circulates. Gypsum, calcium sulfate, comes up constantly as the answer to dog spots, and it's worth being precise about what it actually does. Gypsum addresses the salt half of the problem specifically. Calcium ions from the gypsum swap places with sodium and other salt ions clinging to soil particles, displacing those salts so water can carry them down and out of the root zone, rather than leaving them concentrated near the surface. In heavy clay soil especially, where salts tend to sit and accumulate rather than draining away naturally, this is genuinely useful. Gypsum also helps clay particles flocculate, clump together into larger aggregate crumbs, which opens up pore space and improves drainage, meaning better flushing of salts the next time water moves through. What gypsum does not do is neutralize nitrogen. Nothing chemically neutralizes the nitrogen overdose itself. The only real fix for that half of the problem is dilution through water. And gypsum will not resurrect grass that's already genuinely dead at the crown. If you've seen gypsum marketed as a complete one-step dog spot eraser, that's overselling what it actually accomplishes. It's worth knowing why gypsum specifically, rather than some other calcium source, is the standard recommendation here. Straight agricultural lime also supplies calcium, but lime raises soil pH as a side effect, which is often the opposite of what you want on a lawn that's already fine or even slightly alkaline near a driveway or foundation, as covered in our yellow lawn diagnostic video. Gypsum supplies calcium for the same ion exchange, salt displacing purpose without meaningfully shifting pH one direction or the other, which makes it the more targeted choice specifically for a salt problem rather than a pH problem. If a soil test happens to show both an alkalinity issue and chronic dog spot salt damage in the same area, that's a case where lime might make sense elsewhere on the property, but gypsum remains the right call for the urine spots specifically. Here's the honest, practical hierarchy of what actually works, based on how far along a spot already is. The single most effective intervention by a wide margin is plain water applied immediately after the fact. If you can get out to a fresh spot within a few minutes of your dog going, dumping a bucket or a half-full watering can directly on it dilutes the urea concentration and flushes the salts down below the root zone before either one has time to do real damage. Do this consistently and you'll have essentially no dog spots at all. It costs nothing. It's simply inconvenient enough that almost nobody actually does it every single time, which is exactly why the problem persists in most yards. For spots that have already turned yellow but haven't fully died, where the center shows discoloration but you can still find living green tissue down at the base of individual plants, a deep flush followed by gypsum is the right combination. Soak the spot thoroughly, several gallons worth, to drive the concentrated salts down and away from the root zone. Then work a modest handful of gypsum into the top inch of soil and water it in again. The flush handles the immediate salt concentration. The gypsum continues working over the following weeks as calcium keeps displacing whatever salt remains. Renata's general timeline for these partially damaged spots, given consistent care, is 2 to 4 weeks before you see the center genuinely filling back in from surviving crowns and from healthy grass creeping in from the edges. For spots where the center is genuinely dead, pull on the grass and it comes away with no resistance at all, and the crowns right at soil level are brown, dry, and clearly no longer alive. Nothing brings that back because there's no living plant tissue left to recover. In that case, flush the area to clear residual salts. Rake out the dead material completely, work in a bit of topsoil or compost, and reseed or plug the bare spot directly. Depending on grass type and current temperature, that's roughly 2 to 3 weeks for germination and another 6 to 8 weeks before the new growth blends in visually with the surrounding lawn. There's a grass type consideration worth knowing before reseeding a repeat offender spot specifically, rather than just matching whatever's growing in the rest of the lawn. Some grass varieties tolerate concentrated nitrogen and salt exposure noticeably better than others, and if a particular corner of the yard is going to keep taking regular hits, regardless of behavioral training, choosing a more urine-tolerant variety for that specific patch, tall fescue tends to hold up better than fine fescue in this particular scenario, for instance, can meaningfully reduce how often you're redoing the same repair, even without changing anything else about the routine. Renata mentioned a pattern worth knowing if you're dealing with this regularly rather than as an occasional accident: repeat offender spots. If the same specific area keeps getting hit day after day, it's almost always because that's become the dog's established preferred spot, and treating the chemistry alone without addressing that underlying behavior means you're refighting the same battle indefinitely. Training a dog toward a designated relief area, a mulched or gravel section specifically set aside for this purpose, genuinely solves the root cause in a way no soil amendment ever will. And it's worth considering for any yard where this is a recurring, high-frequency issue rather than an occasional spot here and there. There's also a meaningful difference by sex and by individual dog worth being aware of, since it affects where and how spots typically form. Female dogs tend to squat and deliver a full volume in one concentrated spot, which produces the classic circular halo pattern described so far. Male dogs marking vertically against a fence post, tree trunk, or other reference tend to distribute urine more along a line or a series of smaller spots rather than one concentrated circle, which can look more like a random scattering of minor damage rather than one obvious pattern. Worth keeping in mind if your yellow spots don't quite match the textbook circular halo, but a dog is still the likely cause. Diet and hydration play a role in spot severity too, something worth mentioning since it's within a homeowner's control beyond just lawn treatment. A well-hydrated dog produces more dilute urine with a lower overall salt and nitrogen concentration per volume, which tends to cause less severe lawn damage than concentrated urine from a dog drinking less water throughout the day. Encouraging good water intake, particularly in hot weather when dogs are naturally inclined to drink less relative to their needs, is a genuine, if indirect, contributor to reducing how severe these spots turn out to be, not a replacement for the water flush habit, but a meaningful supporting factor alongside it. One product category worth addressing honestly, since it comes up constantly in this context: dietary supplements marketed specifically to reduce lawn burn from dog urine. Most of these work, to the extent they work at all, by very slightly diluting urine concentration or mildly adjusting urine pH, and the evidence for how much difference they actually make in practice is genuinely mixed and not something Renata puts much confidence in compared to the water flush habit, which has a far more direct and well-understood mechanism. If a supplement is already part of a dog's routine for other reasons, it's not going to hurt, but it shouldn't be relied on as a primary lawn protection strategy in place of actually flushing fresh spots with water. Pulling the whole approach together into a simple sequence worth remembering. Spot a fresh, still wet incident. Flush it immediately with plain water and you're done. No further steps needed. Notice a yellowing spot that's a day or two old but still showing some green at the base. Deep flush followed by a light gypsum application into the top inch of soil. Find a spot that's fully dead, no resistance when pulled, and dry brown crowns. Flush to clear salts, clear the dead material, and reseed with an eye toward a more tolerant variety if that exact spot takes repeat hits. And if the same corner of the yard keeps getting hit regardless of any of this, the actual fix likely isn't more product, it's redirecting where the dog goes in the first place. If this finally explains that ring you've been staring at, hit subscribe. We're covering these specific, often misdiagnosed lawn problems, one at a time, no filler. Go watch our yellow lawn diagnostic video if the pattern you're seeing doesn't match the dark green halo signature described today. That video covers the broader iron versus nitrogen and pH lockout diagnostics for yellow patches that aren't urine related. And if you're dealing with genuinely dead, bare ground once a spot has fully died, our overseeding and seed groove videos cover getting new grass established properly in that reclaimed patch. Tell me in the comments, does your yard have a repeat offender spot, or is this more of an occasional problem? I read every comment. See you in the next one.